I'm yours. With you.
Hey guys, welcome back to Freedom Homestead. I'm Tangi, and today I am here with my beautiful friend Adrianne. If you ever join us on our live chats, sometimes you might see the name Jape Ferris pop up, and this is the A of Jape. So she is a homeschool mom like myself, and a lot of you guys sometimes will ask me some homeschool questions, and I thought maybe you would be interested in hearing from another perspective. So first I'm going to have Adrianne tell us a little bit about herself and her family.
Sure. Well, my name's Adrianne Ferris. I've been married for 15 years to my preacher husband. His name is Justin. We have 4 beautiful children, 2 boys, 2 girls. And we've been homeschooling from the beginning. We've got ages 13, 11, 7, and 3. And so we are here in Virginia. We've been here for almost 10 years, 9.5 years. Moved from Indiana. And so we're just here working for our church and homeschooling and living life. And I'm now a stay-at-home mom full-time. The last 7 years I've been home completely, just working here with my kids. So.
Okay, well, I know one of the questions that people ask me, and of course I only have 2 kids, but how in the world do you school 4 different grades at one time?
Yes, that is a challenge and a barrage of interruptions and questions a lot of times throughout the day, but we try to really set aside a time in the mornings. We try to start about the same time every day and get the bulk of our work done before lunch. I just do better that way. I want to get up and go and get most of the important stuff done first and then have time for extra stuff in the afternoon. So with multiple kids, I guess because we've done it from the beginning, you add 1 kid at a time, so like it's a gradual progression of things, if you will, learn what works for each kid, but also you have to be flexible and okay with interruptions. My older ones, as they have gotten a little bigger, they are able to work a little more independently. They're able to read some of their own material, do some online lectures or CD-ROM type curriculums. That has helped a lot, where I just kind of have to check in, make sure they're doing what they need to do, and show me some regurgitation of the material or something, but not a lot of instruction as they've gotten a little older, which has helped free me up for the younger ones. And that has changed over time. Some things I didn't think I would do as a homeschool mom has just had to happen and been easier that way, and my kids have actually learned better that way than from me in certain areas. I will say we all usually do our school in the same area so that I'm available to help each one. Sometimes my older 13-year-old will go to a different area just because he needs quiet, needs to concentrate. The little ones are a little loud or interrupting, but for the most part I'm here. I like stealing one of the kids' swivel chairs so I can be everywhere all at once, and usually I'm giving somebody a spelling test while I'm grading math or helping with a math problem and then shouting out the next word and do that. So I multitask a lot. Not the best thing because it does make me crazy person with divided attention, but it gets done, and as the kids get older they're able to manage a lot more on their own, so that is helpful. I don't have a lot all at the same grade, and we also try to overlap a lot of subjects and do things together. So even though my kids are different ages, they're all studying, like for example, earth science this year, but they're all different levels. So I found some curriculum where the 2 middle ones are doing some of the same concepts and the same material at the same time, just different levels of assignments, and then the older one is doing also earth science but a lot more difficult, reading more challenging articles and things like that. So their projects kind of line up, they're sort of studying the same thing. We can do some out loud reading and stuff like that together, and of course we try to combine as many subjects as possible. So
Yeah.
Yeah. That doesn't help at all.
No, that's awesome, and that's very helpful, because I know that seems to be like one of the mysteries of homeschooling for people who aren't very familiar.
Right. Typical homeschool morning 8th grader is doing algebra on the laptop, using teaching textbooks this year for the first time. It's going great.
Do say, Mama.
This is 2nd grader working on independent work at her own table. Little one playing with the dog and entertaining herself for a few minutes. 6th grader doing civics, reading in our little attached sitting area that we have our reading room. So this is a kind of how our mornings look.
Adrianne behind me has got some amazing charts that she has her kids work off throughout the week. So can you tell me a little bit about that?
I actually got a glimpse of this idea from another homeschool mom. She has a similar work box set up for her kiddos with a daily checklist on the front that they slip in and out. And I was like, that's a great way to start. So I made a little, it's just a little dry erase pocket that you can drop in different sheets of paper and do tracing things, or you can use it for tons of stuff. But I use this for that purpose. Made each kid a checklist for daily work, Monday through Friday, and then some of our subjects you just cannot get to every day of the week. You can't always do science every day. You can't always do history every day, or typing, or a foreign language, or some kind of those elective kind of things. So what I did is, especially for my older ones, I gave them a little more freedom. The stuff they have to do every day, so I can quickly glance, make sure they're staying on task. Just check off when you're finished with that subject for the day, or come to me and ask what your assignment is for that for the day, just so we're all making sure we're not missing anything. And then at the bottom half of their chart is the things that they're expected to do 3 times a week. And I'm giving them that option. They know what our week's going to look like. You pick what 3 days, just fit it in, make sure it gets done. I don't care if you do them all on the same day or you spread it out, it's up to you, but I want to see you tackling that subject 3 times a week. So this is for my older boys, and you can see that later. And then same thing for my 2nd grader over there. Hers looks a little different, but same concept.
Can you tell me about your chart here? So do you do all of these subjects every day?
Not every day. Mostly, I try to get done all of them. I have to do only 3 days a week, so I don't have to do all of these.
Okay.
So necessarily, I have to do those. I like to do these all, and then just do those.
I like it.
It helps me because I can't always remember off the top of my head, have we hit everything we're supposed to, if I don't see it right in front of me, and that helps me see a little checklist and helps keep them on track.
Okay, so I also noticed on the side of your refrigerator you have a beautiful chore chart for your kids. So can you tell us a little bit about how that works?
The same concept was, there's a lot of kids in the house and there's only one of me, and we make a lot of mess. We live in our house and we live hard. We got a lot of laundry, we got a dog, we got messes on the floor a lot, and I was tired of always sweeping, always doing dishes, or saying, help with this, help with this. I did it yesterday.
Right.
I did the trash out yesterday. Or I've done it every day this week. So I made a rotation schedule for my little munchkins. So I just sat down and thought of what are the everyday stuff that has to be done all the time. And then I gave some of the harder chores, like obviously taking out the trash. My 3-year-old cannot tie and lift the bag of trash and get it out to the garage.
Right.
So she actually is not on the chore chart yet. But I include her a lot, especially with the little J. She will help empty the dishwasher, stuff like that. So anyway, I have daily chores, and cleaning the bathroom doesn't need done every day. Some days it needs every day. But
if you got boys, you know exactly what that means.
so again, my olders are responsible for that, and it's only twice a week. But so my older one has more responsibilities. And then the second one, same thing. And I try to rotate it so it's a little fair, that you only have really 2 jobs to take care of for the whole day, if that. Sometimes it's 1 job a day. It's not that big of a deal. All you have to worry about is the dishwasher today. That's your job for the whole day. Take care of it. Or you're in charge of the dog, feeding her, letting her out, all that stuff. And with this, I got another really good idea off of Pinterest. So with money managing and stuff, based on our chores, we, for every month, I don't like just handing my kids money for allowance. For a long time I thought, if you're part of this family, that's a privilege and you just do the work as a part of the family because that's what you are expected to do. But I wanted my kids to be able to start worrying or thinking about tithing, managing their money, saving for things, or seeing how quickly it can go when you spend it on silly things.
Oh, yes.
And burning a hole in your pocket.
Yeah.
So I instituted a little kids bank that every month, for however old the kids are, they get $1 for however many years old they are for the month for doing all of their chores. So my 13-year-old gets $13 a month, which is kind of hard to pay out. But if they do their chores well, no complaining, no arguing, and I don't have to remind you a lot, you'll get the full $13. But we have recently been fining.
Oh, there's a
fine.
I like it.
So you come to work late, or you complain, or I keep finding your chore undone, and I have to remind you a lot. I'm going to dock you $1. So. You know, and they can do extra things to earn more money, like mowing the yard is extra because you don't have to do that all the time. If you do a great job, we'll pay you a little bit extra. But anyway, so this kind of goes along with that. At the end of the month, they have a payday, and we pay them their chore money, and then they take out their tithe, and we take it to church, and then they can choose if they want to put some money in savings. We haven't done any percentage stuff with that yet. I'm leaving that up to them. So yeah,
that's
they can
awesome.
manage some of their money along with their chores.
I love it. Okay, so being a mom of 4, like, what is a day like for like a regular homeschool day? What does that look like for you all?
For us, that looks like getting up. Usually everybody is up out of bed, eating breakfast, 7:30, 8 o'clock. And we always try to start no later than 9 a.m. And that's just what has worked for us. I would love to be a morning person and be in here, like hitting the grind, doing our Bible study and everything at 7 a.m. But I'm not a morning person, and neither are my kids. So we start at 9 a.m. And then we do what we can do. Sometimes I'm finishing up breakfast or getting the little one dressed. While the older ones are getting started with some of their independent work, and then we all kind of roll in and get going about 9 a.m. And usually we just work through the morning until lunch. They take breaks in between subjects as they need it, maybe do one of their chores for the day, or do some quiet reading if they're finished with independent work and need my help. So yeah, we usually just work through until 12:30ish, sometimes 1, depending if we have a extra thing in the afternoon that day. And then the big boys usually have stuff to do after lunch, maybe a couple subjects. And some days we're doing structured reading at bedtime. And some days we're doing history reading right after dinner, before bath time, so, or taking stuff to the ball field because we didn't finish spelling for one day. So we're very flexible, but we try to get the bulk of our stuff done 9 to 12:30 or 1, and then afternoons are flexible.
All right, so do you want to show us around your homeschool room?
Sure, yep. So we talked a little bit about these already. Our little assignment charts for the week for all the kids is up on the wall where we can easily see them, easily get to them. This is was the kindergarten table, now it's the 2nd grade table. They keep growing. But this is usually where I put my 3rd child. The 2nd grader is over here, away from the big boys, staying out of their way, but also a quiet place to work. She's highly distractible, so it helps to face a wall. Yeah. That's where she is. My 2 older boys mainly do their work right here at our table, and this was just a cheapy IKEA table we've had forever, but it has worked awesome. You can write right on it with dry erase marker.
Nice.
It's been well loved. It's awesome. Then all of our materials for this year, I gave each kid a little cubby hole. So my older one has his daily work and binders for some of his extra subjects. Just keep everything all on your shelf so you can just quickly. These are awesome. I found these at Target this year, so the notebooks aren't like sliding and falling all over each other. Where have they been all my life? So this is my older one. So what is this? 8th grader, 6th grader, and the 2nd grader, all their stuff. My 3-year-old isn't doing anything formal. Preschool, I don't sit down and make her do school, but I have a lot of other just preschool materials, manipulatives all over. So in here I have just extra stuff like markers, glue, I don't know. We won't look in there. Extra notebooks and like page protectors, graph paper, stuff you're not going to use all the time, but I need up here. And old teacher manuals that like I'm going to use the next year for one. They're all hidden. Yep. You know, every homeschool needs a globe.
Absolutely.
There we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
See,
Handwriting without tears?
Yes, I love handwriting without tears. I'm also an occupational therapist by background, and when I worked in pediatrics, that was the system I used to teach handwriting. And I knew as soon as I have kids, I am teaching them how to write with this program because it's awesome. So this is just the cursive handwriting that my 11-year-old still has trouble with some of the capital letters. So we, yes, I still teach cursive. I think it's important.
Yes.
So this is new to me this year. I turned a shelf sideways, or I guess the last 2 years, and made myself a little desk area, and I love it this way. So we have put this little paper organizer. We have our handwriting without tears paper that my second grader uses. If you're familiar with that program, it's nice to have a spot she can just grab a piece of paper, and then different worksheets for my 8th grader. I get those printed out ahead of time so we can just grab the next one from this, and just, again, extra scrap paper, things they need to turn in and be graded. Sometimes go there. It's not working really like that this year. Either way, our laptop we keep charging and just tucked away when they're done with it, and extra pencils and pens, our little 3-hole punch. This is kind of mom shelf right here. This is like all my teacher manuals and extra, more of those little dry erase pockets, and I have a lot of printables that I put in there for my 3-year-old just to keep her busy, pre-writing skills, and like circle the one that's different, kind of stuff like that. And then here's our kids bank that I was telling you about, and just some of our other CD curriculums that we're using, our foreign language, and my older one's math curriculum this year is all on CD, so this year's program stay there. And then this is my huge shelf of puzzles and stickers and early learning stuff that has just kind of grown over the years of having 4 kids. We still pull some educational stuff out for the older ones, but not usually. These are fun.
Yes.
Snap circuits, microscope, stuff like that. Anyway, so a lot of times I'll just pull something out for the 3-year-old to do because she likes to just be with us, but she starts causing problems if she's, you know, interrupting and getting in people's way. Any of you that have multiple kids know what that's like.
Yes.
So this is my dining room turned into a schoolroom, and we just eat in our eat-in kitchen now. So.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you. I know that you piece together your curriculum for the
Yes.
kids, but what is your favorite thing that you use in your homeschool?
Hey, probably so far my favorite thing has been the Knotgrass history books, and I just started using those 2 years ago at the middle school level. They have some earlier stuff, but we did the Adam to Us from creation to now history curriculum over the last, we took 2 years to do it because it was a lot for my young middle schoolers to do. But we included our 1st grader at the time. And then this year we're doing Uncle Sam and You Civics, which is awesome. It's stuff I don't remember ever learning in school. And I think it's really important for our kids to be aware of how our government works and our foundation as a country and the freedoms that we enjoy. It's really important to our family. Also, when the kids were really little, I loved 5 in a Row. And before 5 in a Row, some of our friends that have little ones that are just starting out with homeschooling are using that. They're familiar with that. It's just a literature-based preschool and early learning curriculum. Story of the World.
I've heard a lot about that, but I've never used it.
Yes, I like that. I loosely follow the Well-Trained Mind. Is it Susan Wise?
That sounds right. That sounds right. I
3
know you're talking
Wise.
about, yeah.
I gotta look at the book. Anyway, I loosely follow her idea of the trivium, but we don't do Latin, so I'm definitely a picker and chooser, but I love her idea of the timeline of including what science is when with the history, things like that. So that's why we got into Story of the World and for our history stuff for the early grades. So that has been a favorite of mine.
Okay, we're gonna end this with one more question. what do you wish you knew when you started homeschooling that you know now?
That homeschooling actually is more for me than the kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I have learned a ton, and what the Lord has just put upon my heart to homeschool my kids, I thought it was about my kids.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually been, sorry, I didn't mean to cry. The Lord has just changed me and shown me things and taught me more than I ever thought I would ever learn about myself.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know homeschooling was actually for me and not for them, but I've learned a lot about how the Lord views me, and what a joy it is to see my children grow and understand, and to be able to be here watching them achieve these milestones. I don't have to wait till a parent-teacher conference for them to tell me what a good job my kids are doing. I get to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And that has been a huge, huge blessing. And yeah, I didn't know homeschooling would be emotional.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, and I wish that, I mean, I heard it before, but most people just talked about how great it was, but not many people talk about how hard it is.
Right.
And that, and you hear a lot that, oh, I would never have the patience for that, or, oh, I know I can't be around my kids that long.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the patience for it either. I don't, and I would guess that you don't either.
No.
We don't have the patience for it, but we rely on the Lord for that.
Absolutely.
And we know there's going to be some hard things and some hard days, and I really rely on the Lord for strength to get through each day.
Absolutely.
Because not every day is smooth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you think you're an awesome parent, try homeschooling. You'll be humbled really quick.
Yes, you will be humbled very quickly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of interruptions, lots of teaching moments that aren't just in the books.
Right.
And it's awesome to get to see your kids grow and learn and not have to miss out on some of those milestones.
You can see why I love her so much. All right, well, thank you so much for allowing our friends to visit your home and your homeschool and to share your heart from homeschool mom to homeschool mom. So I'm sure that a lot of you have learned maybe something that you didn't know, got some tips like I did. Any of the products that she mentioned, I will try to find the links for those. So if any of the curriculum that she mentioned, that you can check it out for yourself. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. If she can't answer them, I'll try to answer them. But thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's been awesome. All right, so that's all I've got for you guys today. Until next time.